All right, so let's take a look at designing parabolas, example number 2. So given the quadratic function, we're going to find the axis of symmetry first. So let's pick out negative b. Remember, this is our a is -1, b is -4, and c is 3. So negative b over 2a is going to be positive 4 over 2 times -1, which will simplify to just give us -2. So x equals -2 is our axis of symmetry. So I'm going to go over here to my graph, and I'm going to go ahead and plot an imaginary line at x equals -2. And the next step is to use your use your axis of symmetry to find the vertex. So you're going to plug in the x value to figure out the y of your vertex. So y equals, just use your original function, negative, and then we have x equals -2 that we just found. So negative -2 squared minus 4 times -2 plus 3. So then that would simplify to be -4 plus 8 plus 3, which will be 4 plus 3, which is equal to 7. So our vertex is the x from our axis of symmetry and the 7 when we plugged that number back in. So -2, 7 would be left 2 and then up 2, 4, 6, way up there at the top. All right, so now we need some more points to help us finish our graph. So let's pick out the y-intercept. So let me zoom out for just a second. So the y-intercept is just the c, like that last number of what was given, that constant term, which is +3. So the y-intercept being at +3 helps us to put another point on our graph quickly. And then we can use the axis of symmetry to figure out that another point would have to be exactly on the opposite side of that line, because that's what axis of symmetry is. And then you can use those 3 points to help sketch your graph. So that's what we did for this part. We used the axis of symmetry to help us out. Now, let's pick out domain and range. So domain is as far as the x values will go on your graph. Remember, all quadratic graphs that we are going to work on are going to have a domain of all real numbers. And the range is going to be how far your graph goes up and down. And so think of your y value that's the highest value right here is at 7. And then your graph goes down forever and ever. So y is just less than or equal to 7 is the way we write the range. There's one more thing I want to add now that we've looked at 2 examples. Let's put that this vertex is a maximum vertex because it's the highest point on our graph. And then example 1 was a minimum vertex because that one is the lowest point that was on our graph. All right, so that is it for example number 2.